What is the result of a life of works without faith? You end up embodying the lie. You end up being a living, breathing, walking lie. And you can no longer abide with truth. What happens when you work to get a degree and the information that you learn is a lie? You get a degree and you get licensed to teach that lie to other people. And you spread it, you reproduce it. The same way Satan reproduced the lie in us through Eve, through tricking her, through pride, to accept the lie. And thus, Satan, his mindset was spread throughout all of humanity. And we have Satan coursing through our veins now because the lie infused with our flesh created a corruption that we cannot overcome. And therefore, the perfect truth must come into us in order to overcome the lie. Pride is a disease. Pride even tells us that we can't be fooled, even though we're in a large pyramid scheme. Even those at the top who worship Satan, and yes, there are people who worship Satan, they're being deceived because they didn't believe they could be deceived. They didn't believe they could be deceived by the father of lies, by the one who invented deceit. That's why they're deceived the most, even though they seem to be reaping the benefits. It's a scam. People go to churches and they're told that, if you tithe, if you go to church every Sunday, you'll make it into heaven. That's a lie. You have to know God. You don't know God through works. You know Him through grace, through faith, through Him reproducing Himself in you. Because if you can't develop God's thinking, then you're overcome by Satan's thinking. And Satan wants you to provide endless works to his corrupt system. Work your entire life, go to church, tithe, and never know God. And reproduce the lie in your children, in your students, in the world. The lie of continual improvement towards Godhood, that is a lie. That is how Eve was deceived. God created Eve perfect. But through pride, Eve was fooled into believing she could become more perfect. And instead she devolved because the only way to go from perfection is down. So you devolve. So while Satan was telling Eve that she could evolve, what that actually meant was devolved. Corrupt your flesh through my thinking. Therefore you become lost in the lie and in darkness. Satan is darkness. He was deceived by his own pride. He's deceived a lot of other people to where they're working in darkness. And the only thing they could speak is lies. But through pride, they feel as though they're getting over on someone. But what they're doing is devolving. Because when you work for a lie, when you work for darkness, you devolve. You can't see. You're going full speed ahead towards what you cannot see. That's not evolution. That's chaos. Satan wants us to run in circles like poison rats, not knowing which way we're going. All we know is that we're proving ourselves to someone or something, but that something is Satan. We're proving ourselves to Satan, that we can be deceived and continually be deceived. That's why God says that it's through faith and grace that we are saved from our corrupted flesh. Otherwise, our flesh goes to Satan, who has corrupted it and who has control over it. Realize that flesh is the enemy because it has been corrupted. And the only way to work outside of the flesh is to allow God's thinking into your mind so that you're not deceived by the father of lies.